Been a while since you guys have seen our little burn barrel pit. Time to start burning some trash. I got plenty of it. But yeah, so you guys want the update on the white truck. This is where we're at. If you guys saw the last video, this is going to be the final video on the white truck. We're going to drive it. Yes, this stuff does take a little bit of time. Not a big deal. If you take it to anyone else, it's a pretty, long task. Takes a hot minute. So we're just routing the grid heater lines now. There's a clip on the bottom of this I want to get to. We'll put this intake side on, and then we're going to start working on this side. We're waiting on the oil, the lower coolant hose, the exhaust manifold gaskets, the turbo drain gasket, and coolant. And then this thing's ready to go all back together pretty much. So she's almost done. I'm going to wait to throw the intercooler on once this is bolted up, and then get this one bolted up, but I'd like to get that lower rad hose before I start throwing everything else back together, including the cross member and whatnot. But everything went together pretty good. Fan's not hitting anything. It's burning pretty good now. Bunch of trash to get rid of today. Forgot to release the pressure on that coolant bottle, so that's probably going to explode. You hear a pshh. Alright, so we got the instrument cluster job done and out today. We are just waiting. Actually, we're not waiting anymore. We're going to be slapping the turbo on here in a second. We got the lower coolant hose in. We just topped off the coolant. We are going to run it first, and then we'll top it off even more. But in the meantime, we did reuse all the worm clamps and whatnot. So literally all that's left is to throw the turbo on. I can't get the bumper on today because he just came and took the engine crane. So we're going to see if we can't make a deal on this one. And we have a black bumper out here. I know he wanted to go back to a stock one. We have a black bumper out here that would fit this truck with the cutouts and whatnot. So as long as it's from a 2500, which I'm hoping it is, because he said he's trying to get rid of it. So if it's a 2500, I don't see why not. But if it's a 1500, I ain't trying to mess around with swapping brackets and whatnot. So catching some of the coolant down there. But yeah, we're going to get the turbo back on, and after that, hopefully the next clip is you hearing it fire up. Alright, so I'm going to do a once over on this thing, and this is going to be our first fire up. We just got the new oil in it, new filter. So we'll see. We're going to fire up, make sure there is no leaks, which there probably will be because you'll get that on these big jobs. Close this door a little bit. Just enough. So we'll get the fuel system primed, make sure I don't hear any leaking. Under the trunk, make sure I don't see anything yet. Let it run for a minute. We have oil pressure. We'll check and see why we have a check engine light here in a minute. Make sure the voltage gauge comes up because the grid heater's kicking on. Look at that. That's how it should be. I don't see any leaks. Yeah, she's pretty quiet. Ugh. Accelerator works. All right. Well, she runs. She's fairly quiet for what it is. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna get all the mess cleaned up. We're gonna get ready to pull this thing out and go test drive it for the day, and we'll go from there. So I didn't reset the trip in time, so add about 4 miles to that. So we put about 8 miles on the truck already. Other than bleeding the cooling system, that was the only thing I had to really do. So we're getting it washed up now, cleaning it off, all that, trying to get a lot of the dirt you guys can see in there. Trying to get a lot of the dirt right there, get all that out. I had to come down under here. There was a lot of, you can see all the crud. A lot of that in there. Look at all the mud that just comes out. So we're trying to take care of that as much as possible. But besides that, she's running really, really good. She drives great. Somebody has a weird tune on this thing. I can definitely tell, unless that's a stock tune, but she smokes black pretty decent. So I gotta throw a plate on this. I'll probably just throw Bertha's plate on this instead of the same damn thing and go from there. But she's quiet, comfortable. Other than the window tint, whoever did the tint on this thing, it always looks cloudy, if you guys don't notice that. Like, it's a very cloudy, it looks like you have a coolant leak. That's how, very, very, not good. Let's just put it that way. But yeah, so tomorrow when he comes to pick it up, that's when we're gonna throw the bumper back on, because he took the engine crane, so I can't do any of that or get the engine in the back of this thing. But aside from that, pretty close to bled out. I'm gonna take it home. We're gonna take it to the gym tonight, and then I'm gonna drive it home, and then I'm gonna drive it back here in the morning, you know, just to put some decent miles on it. Definitely had some things to work out on it. Earlier, if you'd let it run, I went and drove out of the shop, came back, it shut off, and I was able to duplicate it. But now it sits and runs fine. There's no leaks, so that's awesome. There's a leak in the hose, but no leak in the truck. So I'm gonna go tomorrow morning and pick up the engine crane, throw it in the back of this, and then we'll start loading his stuff up, see what he wants to keep. But I'll let you guys know at the end of it how many miles we put on it. All right, we're cruising now. We got about, whatever that says, add about 4 miles to that. So we put almost 33 miles on it. We're about to hit over 34 miles. And taking on the highway, just cruising, 80. Nothing crazy. It's definitely rides pretty good. Nice running truck. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say at that point. Like, it runs great. It has AC. Trans hasn't been screwing up. Everything's good. Definitely a bassier model truck because it has the tow haul mode in the dash down here and no overdrive off. But as I said, if anything interesting happens, I'll let you know. The only thing we really ran into today was, you know, having to bleed the cooling system, but that was to be expected. So definitely got all the air pockets out of it. She's running pretty cool now. See how she pulls with a trailer later on down the road. But for now, she'll be given back tomorrow. We're going to throw the bumper on it first thing in the morning and then call it from there. All right, so it is the next day. We are at about 62-ish miles. Losing my voice a little bit, but truck runs great. We're going to the Monroe now to go pick up the engine crane, and then we're heading back to the shop. So I'm going to be able to get this loaded up and get the front bumper back on, because definitely going to need that. But you guys can hear how smooth she runs. Just got to take care of that check engine light, and then that's about it. It has one code right now, and I'm not sure what it's related to. I can't remember the code, but I'm going to check it when we get back to the shop. But just one, nothing crazy. Alright, engine crane has been secured. Like I said, this is all part of, we're trying to get that 100 miles on this truck, so we might as well try to use it a little bit. So we're going to use that engine crane, throw this bumper on, We did just have to help put a motor in an Acura because that's why he took the engine crane. But we are, I mean, we're going to get close to that 100-mile mark if we don't hit it. But truck's running good. I haven't had any issues yet. Engine is in the back. He's going to go grab some straps. So we got all the parts here. I took all the bolts and put them in the top of one of the valve covers. So that way they didn't go flying through the back of the truck. You guys will see right there. So, engine. I got the turbo over here, the fan over here. So we will be able to close the tailgate. I made sure that it's not sitting on the tailgate. There is a little bit of a gap. So, figure that'll make it easiest for him to get it out. But now all I gotta do is back it up and put that bumper on. And then we're gonna let it sit in here till he comes, and then you can pretty much take it at that point. Also, I want to make a mental note for people because I got a lot of inbred liberals in the comments complaining that I work on stuff and work on my own stuff. That's kind of the whole point of a YouTube channel, by the way. Unless you're a complete idiot, you do not make money off of YouTube by keeping things the same. Hence, Bertha and the motorcycle and Josh's truck. Obviously, I make money off of the YouTube videos on that too. But it's like, it's one of those, if you're going to watch my channel to complain that I'm working on my own stuff or something, just don't watch it. It's that simple. You guys create your own problems. Well, it is official. She is all done and ready to go back to work. Other than some ratchet straps on the friggin' engine, but there you go. He was trying to sell this bumper. I wasn't able to make a deal. Too much for me. It's just one of those, being that it's an 03, I didn't want to have to modify anything. But other than that, she done, finally. Super happy with that. I'm going to plug that in real quick, but yep. Well, there she goes. She runs great. See you, bye.